Hello, everyone. We have Kushal Shah here for an interview. If you look at Kushal's LinkedIn profile, he's a BTech in petroleum engineering, and then he came to US to pursue his master's. Now he decided to pursue the master in his field, which was industrial engineering and management. But at some point, he realized his interest in data analytics and data science. So then he did this 5 year master degree. So he has like double majors now, and then he's doing masters in data science right now. And the good thing is he already has secured an internship as a data scientist. So he'll graduate in May 2022. And by that time, he would have completed his internship as a data scientist. And here is his LinkedIn profile. We are going to share the LinkedIn in the video description below. So if you want to connect with him, feel free. And in this conversation, overall, we will discuss Kushal's journey from a petroleum engineer to a data scientist, as well as we'll cover some of the aspects of his studies in US. So if any of you wants to come to US to pursue your master's in data science, you will get a lot of useful tips. One other important achievement that Kushal has made is he has covered up all his tuition cost, all his expenses so far. Uh, and we'll discuss how he managed to do that while doing his studies. And on top of that, he has saved some money. So some people sometimes they have doubt that okay, we come to US now, we are going to spend whatever 50,000, $80,000. It will be a huge debt. What if we don't get a job? So Kushal's story will inspire you, and he will discuss how you can cover up all your cost while you're studying. So Kushal, thank you very much for spending time, especially on weekend, for this conversation.
Pleasure is all mine, Tawal. Thank you so much for
Great.
this opportunity.
All right. So let's discuss your journey. You were a petroleum engineer. Now you come to
Mhm.
US for doing masters in industrial engineering. Like what sparked an interest in data science? And just talk about your whole journey.
So, uh, as you spoke, right, that I did my bachelor's in petroleum engineering. So let me start with that. So when I did 12th in India and when I started looking for the degrees, I found that the petroleum engineers were the highly paid people.
Mhm.
So that's why I pursued petroleum engineering, to be honest.
Mhm.
Then after oil and gas industry took a downturn and there were actually no jobs, if you see. So I had to shift my major to some renewable energy, and I worked as a data analyst in one of the geothermal research firm for a year. So I worked on a different project, and as long along with that, I was doing some analytics stuff as well. That I was learning Tableau, Python, R, SQL, and so on and so forth. So I already had some background of data. When I chose industrial engineering because it was one of the branches which tend to accept people from different background like mechanical or petroleum. So if I want to do computer science, I cannot do it as a petroleum engineer. So that's why I chose industrial engineering. When I came over here, so there are two major branches: supply chain management and operations research. I loved supply chain management, to be honest, but uh, the OR is called to be a parent branch of computer science, where you have to deal with optimizing the algorithms. And I was too fascinated by the math behind it. And if you see some of the algorithms of data science, it is actually the backend at the backend, the OR algorithms are working for to optimize the
And for
processing.
those who don't know, OR is basically operational research, correct?
Yes, yes. So that's what fascinated me the most. And second was I always wanted to pursue my job in business domain. I did not want to be a technical person, to a core technical person, I would say. So at Oklahoma State University, we have a program called Business Analytics and Data Science, which teaches you how to apply data science techniques in business domain.
Hmm.
So, and how to convert a business problem into technical problem, solve it using data science methodologies and algorithms, and present it to the investors in layman terms, in such a way that, like, okay, they can understand as well. So that's what the math behind it and the business development, which drove me to the data science world as well. So that's a quite of my journey from petroleum engineering to data science, I would say.
Got it. So while you were doing this master's in industrial engineering, at that time you realized your interest, and then you extended your master
Yes.
to data science, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Got it. So now let's talk about how you manage to cover up all your cost, because people argue that it's kind of hard. I know some people do some jobs on side, but now you have zero debt, covered up all your tuition cost, and you
Yep.
have some saving on the top. So can you give some tips and just discuss your specific story on this?
Of course. So there are two kind of universities. So first of all, if you get the assistant, you can get the assistantship as a teaching assistant, graduate assistant, or research assistant. There are three kind of assistantship which you will find in general in every university. Now, some universities provide you tuition assistants with this assistantship, or and some university does not. So let me go to the very basics of this. So in US fees, if you see, there are two things: tuition and fees. So tuition is the major component of total fees which you are paying. So let's say if your fees per semester is 11,000 or 12,000, roughly out of that 8,500 or 9,000 would be your tuition. The other 3,000 or 3,500 would be your fees. It is on the rough estimate. Okay. So if your university is giving you the tuition assistance, then you just have to pay $3,000 a month to be. If you take, it depends upon the how many credit hours you are you taking, and so on and so forth as well. So on and so forth as well. So it is just a average numbers. Now, particularly in my university, they do cover the tuition assistance, tuition waiver. So in my part, I just had to pay the fees, and with the assistantship, my pay was very high at Oklahoma State University, particularly. So I have been getting paid around $2,000, and if you see the in the Stillwater where I am living right now, if you in 700 or $800, you can live very good
Yes.
life. Like
Mm.
I have been living in a personal room. I have been spending a lot of money, and still my cost would never go up around 800 or $850.
Per
So if
month.
you see, after tax, my salary was around 1,700.
Mm.
So roughly, I was saving around $850. So if you see for 4 months, it would be around how much? 3,400,
Mm.
and my fees would be around 2,800 or something like that. So per semester, even after paying my fees and like getting rid of all of my expenses, I would say around 500 or $600 with that calculation. So that's how I managed to pay my all of my fees as well, because right from the first semester, I got the assistantship. It is not in all case that you get it, and believe me, it is very competitive. In my case, it was I was slight a bit lucky, and my qualification matched with what they were looking for, so that's why I got it. But half of my batchmates did not get it. And so my advice for anyone who is going to pursue masters in USA is study first. I spent around 7 months to study all of the universities where I was applying, which university does give the tuition fee waiver. And on the top of that, let's talk about I applied to 7 universities, and I got admitted from five. Okay, from five, all of them were really good. Okay, I won't name the university, but it is in New York, and it is a state university. So I got admit from that, and on that website, it was written that if you get the assistantship, you are going to get the tuition fee waiver. But if you ask the students over there who is pursuing masters, they will say that okay, you are not going to get the assistantship just because you are a master student, because they all of the assistantship goes to the PhD ones. So it is
Oh,
like, yeah. So you have to check the prospects that you are going to get it or not as well.
I think the best
At
way, if you look at the website, you might get some conflicting information. But I think the best way is you go to LinkedIn, connect with some students who are already studying there. I think they
Yep,
will tell you the right picture.
there you go. There you go. Yes, I totally agree on that. If you see the OSU's picture, So I did knew that okay, out of 4 semester, at least for 2 semester, everyone gets the assistantship if you maintain a very good GPA of 3.20 and above. Okay, so that was one of the relief if you get it. So if you get the assistantship even for 2 semesters, I would say your overall cost after the graduation would be around $20,000. If you go to some fancy university in Boston or something like that, it would go up to $60 or $70,000. So you can save a huge chunk of money just by doing following this kind of investigation or doing some research before coming prior coming to the masters. And if you are lucky and if your criteria matches with what they are looking for as well as an assistant, then you are golden. Like you can literally cover everything. So in my case, I could pursue dual graduate degree just because I was getting tuition fee waiver. Otherwise I would not have been able to do that, because dual graduate degree would so without assistantship it would cost me around minimum 80 to 90,000 dollars just to get 2 degrees.
Okay,
So
so 80 to 90,000 for your overall, the whole
whole
cost for your
cost,
degree.
yes.
And that, does that include your rent, your side expenses, or
No,
just the
no,
fees? Just the
just a
fees, okay.
fees, just a fees. Yes, you
Okay,
have to
so
you have to manage your own expenses as outside of that
got it.
bracket.
Now you mentioned OSU. So for those who don't realize, OSU is, he's talking about Oklahoma State University, where he's Kushal is studying right now. And
Yes.
what he just said is, just to summarize, like, once again, that his course, you spend what, like you'll be spending overall 3 years, right, for the dual
Yep.
graduate. So
Yep.
for 3 year for dual graduate, he would have spent 80,000 just in fees. Okay, expenses like rental and food, that is extra, but he managed to cover using the assistantship. So can you discuss some good universities? So many times people ask me these questions, we want to come here, what are some good universities? And let's evaluate those universities from the perspective of how many of them can give you this tuition waiver.
So before yeah, I will answer that, but before coming into that point, I just want to mention one thing, that it is at Oklahoma State University, you will find one of the lowest tuition and fees in USA.
Hmm,
So 80 and 90,000 is still low if you compare to average of any university as well for dual
got it.
graduate degree. So it's even then it is low. So
Hmm,
you can compare on that standards as well. Yeah. Coming to the universities, I would say there are many. Okay. Now it's up to you have to check what is your GRE, what is your GPA, and then you have to find good universities for you, because the definition of good universities would not be similar for everyone. So
right.
let's say if you have GRE of 320 and something like that, right? You cannot target CMU, but if you have a very good GPA in undergrad, you have GRE of 330 plus, then CMU is a good university, like
What is the full form? Yeah, can you mention
Carnegie,
full form?
Carnegie, yes, Carnegie Mellon University.
Okay,
Then Pennsylvania State University, University of Pennsylvania. There are some somewhat very known universities like Purdue, let's say, Texas A&M, UT Austin. So UT Austin, Texas A&M, then Purdue, then Carnegie Mellon, Penn State. All of them give the tuition fee waiver. But
hmm,
again, if you go to these universities, the competition for assistantship would be very high. So you have to calibrate yourself with that competition as well, that okay, they do give the assistantship and they do give the tuition fee waiver, but whether you are going to get it or not, you need to calibrate yourself with that bracket as well.
got it.
So if you have any specific example that okay, good universities for this student or this student, I would definitely suggest that. But keeping that in mind, even some of the lower rank universities do give the tuition fee waiver as well. You need to just search for that. Okay. Personally, I did not search for those kind of universities because I was like, I wanted to shoot for the top.
Hmm,
So, like, I personally did not. The universities which I searched for was Rutgers, Rensselaer Polytechnic, uh, NYU, then University of Buffalo, State University of New York, then Lehigh from New Jersey. Sorry, no, it's in
Allentown, right?
yes,
Pennsylvania.
yes, yes. Then Pennsylvania State University, then Oklahoma State University, University of Oklahoma, Texas A&M, and University of Texas, Texas at Austin, UT Austin. So those universities were in my list, but uh, you can definitely search for better universities as well. There are plenty of universities, as you know, in like OS
I,
or like USA.
yep. Now, I think like for those who are listening, all the universities which Kushal mentioned, those are like in general considered to be good universities. So if you have any
Yep.
doubts, definitely go for these all are good universities. Now, you said getting this tuition free waiver and assistantship is very competitive. So who gets it? Like, do they take any exam? Like, what's the criteria for the selection?
So there is no criteria for this. Yeah, my bad. They do not for okay. I am giving the example specific to Oklahoma State. I do
Hmm.
not know about the other universities. So let me tell
Okay.
you about my university. Okay. So in my university, you do not have to give any exam
Hmm.
to pass or fulfill the criteria. Okay. They do evaluate you based on your GRE, first of all. Second of all, what kind of courses have you taken in your undergrad, and what kind of skills you possess? So, let me give you my example. I was working as a graduate research assistant and teaching assistant. So in graduate research assistant role, I have to manage a database using SQL Server and do web application stuff using ArcGIS. So I already knew that tools before in industrial engineering. And if you see any industrial engineer, it would be harder for them to know these tools right from the beginning. Okay, so there were actually no one in my batch who knew this stuff.
Hmm.
I was the only one, so I got picked for research assistant. For teaching assistant, there are you have to check what kind of courses in undergrad do they teach. Okay,
Hmm.
so they teaches economic analysis, they teaches probability and statistics, Python, like basic Python, everything, right? You need to customize your resume based on that, and you need to send that resume to the director.
Hmm.
So if he finds a perfect uh, I would say a perfect match
Hmm.
of what he's looking for with what you have,
Hmm.
then you are going to get it. Otherwise, so you need to move it strategically. When I came at OSU, I started asking people that, okay, what should I do, or what should I involve, what should I include in my profile to be a better fit for teaching assistant. And they provided me very useful tips, and I followed that, and I got the assistantship in the very first semester.
I think
So
above all, networking is the most important thing.
yes,
Connecting
networking is,
with your
yep,
seniors is the most important thing.
I agree, I totally agree. Again, now, if you at OSU, it's like the senior has been preferred for assistantship. Okay,
Hmm.
so I would, I should not tell this, but I want to tell you this, that okay, never ever approach a person who is in the third year,
Hmm.
sorry, third semester. Okay,
Hmm.
because when you are an incoming student, right, you will be competing with the third semester people as well for
Hmm. Hmm.
assistantship. Okay, so they might not give you some useful tips, or they might deviate
Mislead
you
you.
from the, yes, they might mislead you as well. So always talk to people who already has been graduated. They will provide you an honest feedback, if that makes
Perfect.
sense to you. Yep.
Yep. Very good. Now, if there is a student who is in India or who is outside US and he wants
Yep.
to any country, he or she wants to come to US, at in their place, like how can they prepare? So we discussed some of the tips which I'll summarize here. So first of all, good GRE score is important. Doing thorough research as you did, going through all the universities, figuring out who is doing tuition fee waiver, whatever is your criteria. So doing thorough research is the second tip. Third tip is connecting with people who are already in that university. So if someone wants to
Yes.
come to Oklahoma State University, I think that person can connect with you and get some tips, right? So those are the
Yes,
third things, three things. Are there any other tips you want to share so that they prepare themselves better before coming here?
of course. So one thing is a return on investment.
Hmm.
Always calculate that. So when you are coming over here, right, consider your uh, tuition fees which you are paying as a investment to yourself. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, once you are paying $70,000, right? Let me talk about India. So $70,000 in India would be around 50 lakhs or 5 million rupees. Okay. In India, you know that the interest rate would be around 10 to 12%.
Hmm.
So when you graduate itself, right, you would be having a debt of around 75 to $80,000. Okay, and on that you are going to accrue the interest of 10% or 12% every year. Okay, so it
Hmm.
would take at least 3 years for you to just pay off the your debt. Okay,
Hmm.
considering you are living not extravagant life.
Hmm.
If you are living like that, it might take you to get that into the debt free position more.
Hmm. Hmm.
So consider that as well. And whenever you ask any people that, okay, what is the return on investment, okay, like always ask that in-depth questions that, okay, what was your tuition fee? After graduating, what salary are you going to expect? Okay,
Hmm.
because when you're a graduate, you do not mind sharing, okay, what kind of things you're looking for, or what kind of a salary bar you have set for yourself. Okay, so everyone will answer that, and everyone will understand because they have gone through the similar process. Always ask this kind of questions as well, that, okay, what is going to be the return on investment on every investment you are going to make? And
Perfect.
that would help you a lot in longer run.
So that's tip number four, which is finding out return on investment. Kushal seems to be a really good businessman. Actually, you really explained it really well. Tip number five, I would say, is like you in your case, you knew SQL Python already. So
Mm-hmm.
if you are in your home country, like learn some technical skills. And when you are competing for these assistantships and projects, if you have good technical skills, it will help. Some people ask me that they have done their bachelor's, should they come for master directly, or should they get some experience in their home country, let's say experience as a data scientist or a software engineer for, let's say, 2 years, and then they come here for masters? Like, what would you advise on this
So
dilemma?
yeah, let me give you my experience, and let me share some of my colleagues experience as well. So first of all, if you are a computer science if you are from computer science background, I would say work X would not matter that much, because I have seen people getting into Google, Amazon, Fang basically. Okay,
Hmm.
Facebook, Amazon, um, Apple, Google, anywhere as a software engineer right after being a freshie. Okay, so that's what I have heard, that okay, in that domain you do not require a significant amount of work experience, but when it comes to manufacturing or supply chain, it definitely asks you to have a much higher experience. So it depends upon branches to branches. If
Hmm.
you think about industrial engineering, yes, you need to have some good experience to get a very high paying job. Otherwise it would be harder for you to start get your first job, because starting salary of industrial engineering and engineers would, I would say, around 65 to $70,000. Okay,
Hmm.
so it would be harder for companies to file H1B for any freshie as well.
Hmm.
So they do not tend to prefer anyone who has not the prior work experience. That's my understanding. If you come to data science, the like if you okay, in data science, I would say, if even if you do not have any strong background or strong work ex, if you build your profile via good projects or something like that, you are going to get it through as well. Okay, it is kind of flexible like computer
Hmm.
science and data science, but when it comes to core field like mechanical or manufacturing or industrial engineering, I would say having a prior work experience is a huge plus, very huge plus.
Got it. So many people, as Kushal mentioned, trying to transition the domain. If you have experience in your field, I think that will help, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
um, your field plus some technical skills related to computer science.
Yep.
Let's say you know
Yep.
SQL, Python, whatever. I think those things are going to be super helpful. In, in
It
general, yeah, go ahead.
it depends for the SQL and Python skills as well. If you go to manufacturing domain, you do not require to have that hardcore skills. If you go to supply chain or any other domain which requires you to kind of have some basic of these languages, there you need it. So it depends upon the expertise and domain as well.
Okay,
Just saying. Yep.
now I know you covered it, but I want to just confirm it. So let's say there is a mechanical engineer, BTech in India.
Yep.
The person wants to become data scientist. He wants to
Mhm.
transition. Should he or she work in mechanical domain for 2 3 years, then come here for masters? Because then you acquire experience in mechanical domain, but then you come here for master. Should they come for master as in data science directly, or should they do the same thing which you did, which is like take masters from here in a same domain but do dual degree and transition smoothly?
So I would say, okay, the answer is always like not 100% true because it depends upon cases to cases.
Hmm.
But on general, if I speak, right, even if you are doing the job in your domain, it's perfectly fine as long as you are keeping yourself up to date with what new technologies has been doing or has been going on, and what new tools are there, what new techniques are there. You are going to be fine. Do some projects on Kaggle itself, explore most of like highly recognized materials is available regarding data science. So anyone who wants to learn can learn from anywhere, any part of the world. So if you are keeping yourself up to date with this technologies and everything, even if you have your experience in mechanical domain, you can perfectly pursue data science degree.
Hmm.
it is not it is not like that compulsory that okay, you have to have some data science job or something
Hmm.
like that to be a
Hmm.
data scientist. But as long as your fundamentals are clear and you are competing in some of the competitions or something like that on Kaggle itself or like that, you are going to be fine.
Got it. In general, what are the salary expectations like once you become data scientist as a fresher after your masters? What kind of salary range people get in US?
Depends. Now it also depends. Now it depends upon your projects. It depends upon what kind of skills and expertise do you possess, and uh, what kind of confidence level do you have. Okay, I have seen people who has been lowballing themselves
Hmm.
for 65 to 70K even in New York or that kind of places. Okay, and
Hmm.
I have seen people who has got packages of 90K right after freshie. So let me give you a very interesting example. It is from one of my senior from PDPU, Pandit Dindal Petroleum University. He did his petroleum engineering as well. He graduated in 2017. I graduated in 2018. In 2017, he came here to get a master's degree in industrial engineering. Okay, in industrial engineering. He graduated in 2019,
Hmm.
and in March 2019, he got a job in Cisco as data scientist with starting salary of 90,000 plus.
Hmm.
Okay. He did not have any internship experience in data science. He did not have any background of data science. He did his thesis in machine learning,
Hmm.
like the core thesis. So he spent around 2 semesters to explore this stuff and do like explore more in data science. And only in 2 semesters he got so skilled that he got a job in Cisco as a data scientist with 90K plus salary in North Carolina itself. If you see North Carolina, the uh, if you are earning 90,000, it is very high.
$90,000 a year in North Carolina. Yes, it's a very good
It
salary
is
as a
okay, okay,
fresher.
okay. It is 90K plus.
90K plus, exactly.
Yes,
Plus
okay.
benefits. So
So
this
yeah,
person, sorry if I missed it, he had a dual degree or just a industrial engineer?
just one degree industrial engineering.
This is
So that
amazing.
everything is a myth. If anyone says you that okay, you cannot do that, it's a myth. He's saying that because he hasn't done that, or he was so
Mm,
lazy that he could not invest much time in doing that. Okay, you can always do the stuff like this. I
mm.
always give his example, and everything is possible. Even if you are an industrial engineer, you can become a data scientist. Even if you are a mechanical engineer, you can become a data scientist. Data science is a very open branch. You can learn like okay, if I
Someone,
go to you,
sorry to stop, someone told me that data science is not a separate branch, it is a branch in every branches. So mechanical
there you
engineering
go,
has data scientists, industrial engineering had, every branch has data science is a science which solves problem in your domain. So it's not like you're
there you go.
transitioning to a whole new world.
There you go. So let's say if I'm a supply chain or if I'm in supply chain domain, right? That is what my major is from industrial engineering. Okay, I can apply my data science expertise in supply chain itself,
Hmm.
right? Similarly, you can do it in civil engineering or mechanical engineering or everywhere. It depends now. It depends upon you, your capability to explore the things, and your free will to go above and beyond
Hmm.
to do something.
Exactly.
That's my
Because
answer.
when I think about, let's say, mechanical engineer, electrical engineer, see, mathematics is there everywhere, okay?
Yep.
Mathematics and statistics will be present in any engineering branch, whether you accept it
Hmm.
or not. You just need to gear yourself in such a way that you use your math, your statistics for doing your projects. Like this person did his
Yeah.
final year project in machine learning. So even though you are a
Thesis.
mechanical engineer, your thesis, you can do in machine learning. Like no one is
Yep.
stopping you, right? And
Yeah.
that way you're positioning yourself so that, and nowadays, Kushal, I think companies have become very open-minded. They don't care your degree, which branch. They say, all right, what is your resume? What kind of projects you have done? Have you done any relevant projects that we care about? They will call you for interview. After that, it all depends on your interview performance. Do you agree with that?
That's there you go. I totally agree with that. So I would say last fall I gave 50 plus interviews just for my internship with around like 30 MNCs. Okay.
Mm,
30 Fortune 500, I would say. Okay. All of them were so surprising that like they did not ask about anything about related to my degree that okay, what we are doing.
mm,
They asked me about okay, what kind of projects have you done, what kind of knowledge have you do you possess, and they are looking that whether you would be a better fit for their culture or not as well.
mm,
So behavioral part is a very beautiful aspect that you need to cover as well, but they are not going to look for a degree, your
mm.
degree, that what kind of degree you are pursuing just after the screening processes, so you're good to go. I agree on that with you.
Degrees will stop mattering as I think we are
Yep.
getting into an
I agree.
interesting future. Just today, I read an article on LinkedIn. There was one guy who joined, there is a company called Zoho in India, actually. So he
Okay.
joined that company as a security person. He's only 10th pass, okay? So poor
Okay.
person from poor family, in like
Hmm.
in a very early age, he wanted to feed his family. So after 10th grade, he joined as a security, as a watchman in the company. But then he got connected with some of the engineers who were working in the company, and they say like, okay, maybe you should try to learn coding. And he was like, what is it? He did not know anything. So he started learning coding with the help of the some of the employees. Then he learned it for few years, and then he made some small app, and he showed it to the people at Zoho. Those people interviewed him and they hired him. So now he completed 8 years in Zoho. Actually, we can share his LinkedIn post. It was very heart touching skill. He has shown the picture of his security, like when he was working as a security boy versus a software engineer. He's a software engineer in Zoho. 8 years he completed today. It was amazing. The guy is only 10th pass. He did not even finish 12th.
That's huge. There you go. Like the world has become so open-minded that if you have the skills and if you have the positions to continue the things which you like, you are going to be like golden in this era, I would say. uh just
Zoho
wo-
is Zoho is one of those companies I have a huge admiration. Zoho has their office in a very small village. They have a different work ethics, and they don't care about degree. It's an amazing company. I have like a huge admiration for this company. But then there are many companies who are doing this. They will stop caring about your degree. All they care about your knowledge, your drive. That person had a drive while working as a security person. He 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 studied html whatever. And I see so many computer science graduates, they are doing just degree because their parents have told them to do. They have no interest in coding.
yep.
Those guys are like
Yes.
useless. They don't do. And
Yes.
like it all depends on your drive, your passion. World has changed already. Sorry, you were saying
Believe me,
something.
I was that. Believe me, I was that useless person for 4 years when I did my bachelor's in petroleum, because I just saw the salary bar and I just got the admitted into that. Like seriously, like I was a living example for that as well. But after the things turned around and I'm in a better position right now. But
Hmm.
just one more example, okay? So regarding this, I seriously want to give you this example. He's again from my senior batch in petroleum engineering from 2017. He did not get a job because his GPA was too low. He did not like petroleum engineering either. So he started working as a data entry position, level position. Okay, he has to enter the data into Excel
Huh.
from the manual scripts. That's all. Okay, that what his things job was. From that to he got around 6 jobs. He transferred 6 jobs, and in 2019 he started working as a data scientist in Snapdeal. So if you the people who might not know the Snapdeal, it is like Amazon in India. Just
Hmm.
just to correlate, okay. And he's working as a data scientist three, which is a third highest level position in one of the very highly reputed company in India. So like starting from that entry level position where you are just applying data entries to educate yourself with the data science domain and solve the business complex business problems. There you go. Like everyone, like people are there who has done that.
Hmm.
So if anyone says to you that you cannot do that, he's lying. He's totally lying.
People problem, Kushal, is people have so many self doubts. I mentioned the same thing in one of my videos, and so many people commented saying that, oh, in US the culture is different. People are open minded. They will accept you even if you don't have a degree in computer science. In India, it's very different. They ask for experience and all of that. But the two examples that we have given are Indian example. One person becoming a software engineer from security guard. Can you imagine security guard with 10th pass getting that job? And the second person, as you said, data entry person, petroleum engineering degree, becoming a third level like data scientist 3 in a big company. So the issue is people
In
don't
just
have
three
pay
years.
in just 3 years. The biggest problem, Kushal, that people have who are complaining is they do not have patience and they do not want to work hard. First of
Yep.
all, if you are a fresher, it will take time. It takes time. It's not gonna happen magically like this. It will take 2 years, 3 years,
Yep.
4 years. Have patience, keep on learning things, keep on pursuing your passion, keep on doing the right thing. There is no way you can't get success. There are so many
Agreed.
opportunities, especially after the pandemic situation. What I have realized is the opportunities have even increased. Like, do you agree with that?
I should not comment on that actually because I do not know the exact picture right now. So
Hmm.
to be honest, I do not know. But uh, so for opportunity for yourself has been definitely increased because uh, like it has shown you that okay, even if you are at home, there's so many things you can do. That like let's say I'm in the lockdown, okay, there's
Hmm.
so many courses in Coursera, Udemy,
Hmm.
Udacity,
Hmm.
MIT OpenCourseWare, Stanford Learning. Like you can do so many things without possessing a degree in specific domain.
Hmm. Hmm.
So like you're golden in this era. If you have a I would say persistence and capacity to continue in your own domain. That's all.
Perfect. All right, those are all the questions we had. Kushal, thank you very much once again. Is it okay if I share your LinkedIn in the video description?
That is perfectly fine. That is perfect. And if any student have any questions or any doubt, just send me a connection request saying that okay, this kind of doubt I have, I will definitely connect with those students and clarify more in details if they want me to.
That is really awesome. Thank you very much for that generous help. All right, so I'll end this now. Thank you very much again. Bye.
Thank you so much, Zawal.